Hi everyone, this is Safety Supervisor Leo Flack. I want to bring you up to date on the new hours of service rules that will most affect you in the dedicated operation. The new rules will take effect on Tuesday, September 29th, 2020. Before I get started with what has changed, let me say that most of the basic rules that we are all used to remain the same, including the 14-hour on-duty rule, the 11 hours of driving time, and the 8-day, 70-hour duty cycle, along with the 16-hour exception. All right, the new rule. The new rule states that a rest break is required only when a driver has driven for a cumulative period of 8 hours without at least a 30-minute interruption from the driving status. In other words, the break is required when you reach a total of 8 hours of driving time that accumulates over the course of your current shift as you stop and start, not necessarily 8 straight hours of driving all at once. The break can be satisfied by any non-driving period of 30 consecutive minutes, which includes on-duty, off-duty, sleeper berth, and the yard move status. So as soon as you get the required 30 consecutive minutes in a non-driving status, your rest break clock will reset. All right, next I'm going to explain what changes you'll see in the Omnitrax device. The DOT clock will not begin the 8-hour countdown to your rest break when you come on duty based on your on-duty login time as it does now. At the beginning of your shift, the countdown on your DOT clock will not begin until you start to accumulate driving time towards the 8 hours of driving time before a break is required. The DOT clock will still tell you how much time you have until your next violation. So at some point in the day, your clock will adjust to reflect the rule that you are closest to violating. If you're not sure which of the 4 rule sets that you are close to violating, go to the summary screen to determine how much time that you have left in each rule category. The DOT clock will always match the rule that you have the least amount of time available. Another change you will notice is in the change status screen. If you have less than 2 hours until you're required to take the DOT required rest break, you will see a warning message in the lower right portion of the screen that will tell you how many minutes you have left in a non-driving status before you will complete the 30-minute break from driving. Another change will be to the certify screen. The certifying process still remains the same, but the certify tab now includes a location column that shows the driver where each change of duty status occurred. If you see any unknown positions listed in the location column, your log will require an edit to add the city and state to remain in compliance. To edit the location, select the status line that you would like to edit, and that'll highlight it, then select the Edit tab. You can then add the correct location, city, state, on the following screen to complete the edit. The next change is to the adverse conditions rule. Adverse conditions are unforeseen conditions that you did not know about when you started your run, such as snow, fog, or a shutdown in traffic due to a crash. Forecasted weather events, rush hour traffic, or delays at a customer do not qualify as adverse conditions. The new rule will allow a driver to extend both the 11 and 14-hour clocks by 2 hours during adverse conditions based on the drivers in addition to the dispatcher's knowledge of the conditions after being dispatched. Okay, the next change in regulations applies only to those drivers that drive sleeper berth tractors. If you don't drive a sleeper, your portion of the training ends here. Thank you. If you do drive a sleeper, please continue to watch. The new split sleeper